First contact and cultural clash. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, two civilizations were about to collide in a way that would forever change the course of galactic history. The Zephyrians, a highly advanced alien race with sleek, hovering bodies and translucent skin that shimmered with bioluminescence, had long considered themselves the pinnacle of evolution. Their mastery of anti-gravity technology had led them to believe that any species still bound by the constraints of terrestrial locomotion was inherently primitive. It was on a crisp autumn morning that humanity's first official contact with the Zephyrians occurred. The location: Central Park, New York City. As the massive silver disk of the alien ship descended from the clouds, casting an enormous shadow over the bustling metropolis, the world held its breath. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's foremost xenobiologist, stood at the forefront of the welcoming committee. Her heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation as the ship's hatches hissed open. The Zephyrians emerged, their bodies gracefully gliding through the air as if weightless. "Welcome to Earth," Elena said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We come in peace and with open minds." The lead Zephyrian, who introduced himself as Ambassador Zil, regarded Elena with a mixture of curiosity and barely concealed disdain. His large iridescent eyes blinked slowly as he took in the sight of the humans gathered before him. "Greetings, terrestrials." Zil's voice resonated telepathically in their minds. "We have long observed your planet and have finally deemed you worthy of official contact." As the initial pleasantries were exchanged, it became increasingly clear that the Zephyrians viewed humans as a quaint, if somewhat backward, species. Their condescension was particularly evident when it came to human mobility. "You still rely on such primitive appendages for locomotion?" Zil inquired, his gaze fixed on Elena's feet. "How quaint." Elena felt a flush of embarrassment, quickly followed by a spark of indignation. "Our feet have served us well for millennia," she replied, trying to keep her tone neutral. "They've carried us across continents, up mountains, and even to the moon." Zil's facial tendrils quivered in what Elena assumed was the Zephyrian equivalent of a patronizing smile. Of course. We mean no offense. It's just that we outgrew the need for physical contact with the ground eons ago. Perhaps in time, your species will evolve beyond such limitations." As the days passed and diplomatic relations were established, the cultural clash between humans and Zephyrians became more pronounced. The aliens were fascinated by human technology, but found it clumsy and inefficient compared to their own. They marveled at the diversity of Earth's ecosystems, but couldn't understand why humans hadn't terraformed the planet to suit their needs better. But it was human sports and physical activities that truly baffled the Zephyrians. They watched in a mixture of horror and fascination as humans engaged in activities like running, jumping, and dancing. "Why do you subject yourselves to such strenuous and potentially damaging actions?" a Zephyrian scientist named Vex asked Elena as they observed a group of joggers in the park. Elena smiled, feeling the surge of pride in human resilience. "It's not just about transportation, Vex. We run for health, for joy, for the sheer exhilaration of pushing our bodies to their limits." Vex's tendrils writhed in confusion. "But surely there are more efficient ways to achieve physical optimization." "Efficiency isn't everything," Elena replied. "There's beauty in the struggle, in the sweat and effort. It's part of what makes us human." As the weeks went by, tensions began to simmer beneath the surface of the seemingly cordial relations. The Zephyrians' constant belittling of human physiology and technology was starting to grate on even the most patient diplomats. The situation came to a head during a state dinner at the United Nations. Ambassador Zil, perhaps emboldened by a bit too much human wine, decided to address the elephant in the room. "My dear human friends," he began, his telepathic voice echoing in the minds of all present. "While we have enjoyed our time on your charming little planet, we feel it is our duty to help elevate your species. Clearly, your reliance on such primitive modes of transportation is holding you back. We propose a complete overhaul of your society, starting with the implementation of our anti-gravity technology." A murmur of disbelief and anger rippled through the assembled dignitaries. Alina, seated at the main table, felt her face grow hot with indignation. "Ambassador Zyle," she said, standing up and addressing the alien directly, "while we appreciate your concern, I think you fundamentally misunderstand our species. Our feet, our legs, our entire bipedal structure. These aren't limitations. They're the very things that have allowed us to thrive, to explore, to dance, to climb mountains, and to run marathons. They connect us to our world in a way that I'm not sure you can understand." Zill's tendrils flattened against his head, a sign of displeasure. "Dr. Rodriguez, surely you can't deny the superiority of our mode of transportation. We can traverse great distances without effort, without the risk of injury or fatigue." Alina's eyes flashed with determination. "Perhaps, but have you ever felt the exhilaration of a runner's high? The satisfaction of reaching a mountain peak on your own 2 feet? The joy of dancing until your legs ache? There's more to life than mere efficiency, Ambassador." The room had grown silent, all eyes fixed on the confrontation between human and alien. Zill's bioluminescence pulsed rapidly, a sign of agitation. "You speak of these activities as if they're virtues," he said, his mental voice dripping with condescension. "But they're merely vestiges of your evolutionary past. Surely, given the option, your species would choose to move beyond such primitive methods." Elena looked around the room, seeing the anger and pride on the faces of her fellow humans. She turned back to Zill, a challenging smile on her face. "You know what, Ambassador? I think it's time we showed you exactly what these primitive methods can do. I propose a challenge. A race, if you will. Your hovering technology against our feet. Let's see which truly reigns supreme." A collective gasp went through the room, followed by a surge of excited murmurs. Zell's tendrils quivered, caught off guard by the audacity of the challenge. "A race? But that's absurd. Our technology is clearly superior. What could possibly be gained from such a primitive contest?" Elena's smile widened. "If you're so certain of your superiority, surely you have nothing to fear from a little friendly competition. Unless, of course, you're not as confident in your abilities as you claim to be." Zill's skin flashed with patterns of indignation and uncertainty. He glanced around at his fellow Zephyrians, who looked equally perplexed by the challenge. Finally, he straightened his hovering form, his tendrils extending in a gesture of acceptance. "Very well, Dr. Rodriguez. We accept your challenge. Name the terms, and we shall prove once and for all the superiority of Zephyrian technology." As Elena began to outline the details of the race, a buzz of excitement filled the room. Humans and Zephyrians alike realized that this was more than just a simple contest. It was a clash of philosophies, a test of 2 fundamentally different approaches to existence. Little did either side know that this challenge would set in motion a series of events that would reshape the relationship between their species and challenge long-held beliefs about the nature of progress and evolution. As the dinner concluded and the delegates dispersed, the air was thick with anticipation. The stage was set for a showdown that would prove to be far more significant than anyone could have imagined. The race between human feet and alien technology was about to begin, and the outcome would have repercussions that would echo across the galaxy. The Great Race Challenge. The news of the impending race between humans and Zephyrians spread like wildfire across the globe. What had started as a heated exchange at a diplomatic dinner had quickly morphed into an event of unprecedented scale and significance. The stakes were high, not just for pride, but for the future direction of human technological development and Earth's standing in the galactic community. As dawn broke over the Nevada desert, a makeshift city of tents, stages, and high-tech equipment sprawled across the arid landscape. The chosen venue was a grueling 100-mile course that wound through rocky terrain, steep inclines, and treacherous ravines. It was a route designed to test the limits of both human endurance and Zephyrian technology. Elena Rodriguez stood at the starting line, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She wasn't just a scientist anymore. She had become the unofficial representative of humanity in this bizarre interstellar competition. Beside her stood Marco Valdez, Earth's premier ultra-marathon runner, his lean body coiled with nervous energy. "Are you sure about this, Doc?" Marco asked, his eyes scanning the harsh terrain before them. "I mean, I've run some tough courses, but never against floating aliens." Elena managed a tight smile. "We have to be, Marco. This is about more than just a race now. It's about showing the Zephyrians, and ourselves, what humanity is capable of." A few yards away, Ambassador Zill and his team of Zephyrian racers hovered serenely. Their bodies gleamed in the early morning sun, the anti-gravity devices embedded in their forms emitting a soft, pulsating glow. Zell's tendrils twitched with what Elena had come to recognize as smug confidence. "I must commend you on your enthusiasm, Dr. Rodriguez." Zell's telepathic voice resonated in her mind. "Though I fear this exercise will only serve to highlight the vast gulf between our species' capabilities." Elena was about to retort when a hush fell over the assembled crowd. The race was about to begin. A holographic countdown appeared in the air, visible to all. As it reached 0, a thunderous cheer erupted from the human spectators. Marco shot off like a bullet, his feet kicking up dust as he quickly found his rhythm. The Zephyrians, caught off guard by the explosive start, took a moment to orient themselves before gliding smoothly after the human runner. For the first few miles, it seemed as though Zill's predictions might come true. The aliens effortlessly kept pace with Marco, their hovering forms barely disturbed by the rough terrain. They navigated around boulders and over crevices with graceful ease, while Marco had to carefully pick his way through the obstacles. But as the miles wore on, something unexpected began to happen. The Zephyrians, used to the frictionless glide of their anti-gravity technology, started to show signs of discomfort. The constant adjustments required to navigate the uneven terrain were taking a toll on their usually effortless movement. Marco, on the other hand, seemed to grow stronger with each mile. His feet found purchase on loose rocks, his powerful legs propelled him up steep inclines, and his body instinctively adapted to the changing landscape. What the Zephyrians saw as obstacles, Marco's body interpreted as challenges to overcome. By the halfway point, the race had transformed into a grueling test of endurance. The desert sun beat down mercilessly, turning the course into a scorching gauntlet. Marco's shirt was soaked with sweat, his face etched with determination. The Zephyrians, unused to such prolonged exertion, were showing clear signs of strain. Their usually smooth hovering had become erratic, and their bioluminescence flickered with patterns of stress and fatigue. Elena, following the race in a hovering observation vehicle, couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Marco wasn't just running. He was showcasing millions of years of evolution, the culmination of countless generations who had walked, run, climbed, and explored their way across Earth's varied landscapes. As they entered the final quarter of the race, the true strengths of human physiology began to shine. Marco's body, honed by years of training and countless races, had found its second wind. He bounded over rocks, sprinted up inclines, and navigated treacherous descents with an almost preternatural agility. The Zephyrians, on the other hand, were struggling. Their anti-gravity devices, so efficient on their home world, were ill-equipped to handle the prolonged stress of the race. Several of the alien racers had already dropped out, their systems overheated and malfunctioning. Zill, determined to salvage his species' reputation, pushed on. But even he couldn't deny the growing realization that they had severely underestimated the capabilities of the human body. As they approached the final mile, Marco had opened up a considerable lead. The gathered crowd, a mix of humans and alien observers, watched in awe as the lone human figure crested the last hill, silhouetted against the setting sun. With a final burst of speed, Marco crossed the finish line, his arms raised in triumph. The assembled humans erupted in a deafening roar of celebration. Alina felt tears stinging her eyes as she watched Marco collapse to his knees, exhausted but victorious. Several minutes later, Zil and the remaining Zephyrian racers crossed the finish line. Their usually immaculate forms were covered in dust, their bioluminescence dim and erratic. Zil approached Marco, his tendrils drooping with fatigue, and Alina noted with surprise, a hint of respect. Impossible. Zil's mental voice was faint, tinged with disbelief. How? How did you do it? Marco, still catching his breath, looked up at the alien with a mixture of exhaustion and pride. One step at a time, Ambassador. One step at a time. The implications of the race's outcome rippled through both human and Zephyrian societies. Humans celebrated their victory, a tangible proof of their species' resilience and adaptability. The Zephyrians, for their part, were forced to reevaluate their assumptions about physical locomotion and the nature of advanced civilization. As night fell over the desert, the makeshift city buzzed with excitement and discussion. Humans and Zephyrians alike were engaged in animated conversations, sharing their perspectives on the race and its implications. Alina found herself at the center of it all, fielding questions from both species. As she looked around at the mingling crowds, she realized that the race had accomplished something far more significant than proving human endurance. It had opened up a dialogue, a chance for true understanding between two vastly different species. As she watched Marco being interviewed by a group of fascinated Zephyrian scientists, Alina couldn't help but smile. The race was over, but the real journey, one of mutual respect and cooperation between humans and Zephyrians, was just beginning. Little did they know, this was only the first step in a series of events that would challenge both species to reconsider their place in the universe and the true meaning of advancement. Human ingenuity unleashed. In the weeks following the Great Race, the relationship between humans and Zephyrians underwent a dramatic shift. The aliens, humbled by their unexpected defeat, began to view humanity in a new light. No longer did they see humans as primitive beings shackled by their physical forms, but as a species of remarkable adaptability and untapped potential. This newfound respect, however, came with its own set of challenges. The Zephyrians, still convinced of the superiority of their technology, were eager to help humanity advance. They proposed integrating their anti-gravity technology into human society, offering to retrofit cities, vehicles, and even human bodies with their advanced systems. Many humans were tempted by the offer. The idea of effortless movement, of soaring through the air without constraints, was undeniably appealing. But others, like Alina Rodriguez, saw the potential danger in becoming too reliant on alien technology. We can't just abandon millions of years of evolution, Alina argued in a heated United Nations debate. Our physicality, our connection to the ground beneath our feet, is an integral part of who we are as a species. It was during one of these debates that an unlikely hero emerged. Dr. Amit Patel, a biomedical engineer from Mumbai, had been listening intently to the discussions. As the argument raged on about whether to adopt Zephyrian technology or maintain human traditions, Amit's mind was racing with an idea that could bridge the gap between the two approaches. What if? Amit interjected, his voice cutting through the clamor. We could enhance our natural abilities without sacrificing our connection to the earth. All eyes turned to the unassuming scientist. Even the Zephyrians, their tendrils quivering with curiosity, gave him their full attention. Go on, Dr. Patel, Alina encouraged, intrigued by the glint of excitement in Amit's eyes. Amit took a deep breath, then launched into his explanation. We've been looking at this all wrong. Instead of trying to replicate the Zephyrians' anti-gravity technology, we should be focusing on augmenting our own natural locomotion. I propose we develop what I call kinetic enhancement footwear, or TEF for short. The room buzzed with murmurs as Amit continued, his words painting a vivid picture of his vision. Imagine shoes that don't just protect our feet, but actively work with our natural biomechanics. Shoes that store and release energy with each step, that adapt to different terrains, that enhance our speed and endurance without divorcing us from the ground. As Amit spoke, holographic projections materialized around him, showing rough sketches and diagrams of his proposed technology. The KES looked deceptively simple: sleek, form-fitting footwear with a complex network of fibers and microhydraulics running through the soles and up the sides. "The key is in the smart materials," Amit explained, his enthusiasm infectious. "We'll use a combination of piezoelectric fibers to harvest energy from each step, shape memory alloys for adaptive cushioning, and a network of microhydraulics for dynamic support and propulsion." The Zephyrians watched in fascination as Amit delved into the technical details. Their initial skepticism gave way to genuine interest as they recognized the ingenuity behind the concept. "But how would this compare to our anti-gravity technology?" Ambassador Zyle inquired, his mental voice tinged with both curiosity and doubt. Amit smiled. "That's the beauty of it, Ambassador. It's not about replicating your technology. It's about enhancing our own natural abilities. These shoes won't make us hover, but they'll make us faster, more agile, more efficient. And most importantly, they'll keep us connected to the Earth in a way that's fundamental to our species." The idea sparked a frenzy of excitement and debate. Some argued that it was a compromise, a half measure that would leave humanity lagging behind the Zephyrians. Others saw it as the perfect synthesis of human physicality and advanced technology. Elena, for her part, was thrilled. "This is exactly the kind of innovation we need," she declared. "It honors our evolutionary heritage while pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of." The UN Assembly voted overwhelmingly to fund Amit's project. Within days, a global team of scientists, engineers, and athletes was assembled to bring the kinetic enhancement footwear from concept to reality. The development process was a whirlwind of innovation, setbacks, and breakthroughs. Amit and his team worked tirelessly, often pulling all-nighters in their lab. They tested countless prototypes, fine-tuning the complex interplay of materials and systems that made up the KES. Surprisingly, it was the Zephyrians who provided a crucial breakthrough. Fascinated by the project, a group of alien scientists offered to share some of their knowledge on energy-efficient materials. This collaboration led to the development of a revolutionary new fiber that could store and release enormous amounts of kinetic energy with minimal loss. As the months passed, excitement built around the globe. Social media was abuzz with speculation about the capabilities of the KEFs. Would they allow humans to run at superhuman speeds, jump over buildings? The public's imagination ran wild. Finally, after a year of intense development, Amit and his team were ready to unveil the first functional prototype of the kinetic enhancement footwear. The venue chosen for this historic event was the same Nevada desert where the Great Race had taken place. On the morning of the demonstration, a palpable sense of anticipation hung in the air. Thousands had gathered to witness the event, with millions more watching via global broadcasts. Humans and Zephyrians alike waited with bated breath to see if Amit's vision would become a reality. As the sun rose over the desert, Amit stepped onto the stage, holding a pair of sleek, silvery shoes. They looked deceptively simple, more like high-tech running shoes than the revolutionary technology they promised to be. "Ladies and gentlemen, honored Zephyrian guests," Amit began, his voice steady despite his nerves. "What I hold in my hands is not just a pair of shoes. It's a bridge between what we are and what we can become. The kinetic enhancement footwear represents the best of human ingenuity, our ability to innovate, to adapt, and to push the boundaries of our own capabilities." With that, Amit slipped on the KES. As they molded to his feet, the shoes came to life, a soft blue glow emanating from the soles. Amit took a few experimental steps, and the gathered crowd gasped in amazement. Each step seemed to propel him further than should have been possible, yet he moved with a grace and naturalness that was undeniably human. Then, with a grin, Amit broke into a run. What happened next would be replayed on news broadcasts around the world for weeks to come. Amit shot across the desert floor at an incredible speed, his feet barely seeming to touch the ground. He leaped over boulders with ease, scaled a steep incline in seconds, and performed acrobatic feats that seemed to defy gravity. The crowd erupted in cheers as Emmett returned to the stage, not even out of breath. The Zephyrians, their bioluminescence pulsing with patterns of awe and excitement, floated closer to get a better look at the miraculous footwear. As Emmett fielded questions from the awestruck audience, Elena couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. This was humanity at its best, innovative, adaptable, and unafraid to chart its own course. The KEFs weren't just a technological marvel. They were a statement. Humans didn't need to abandon their nature to advance. They could enhance it, celebrate it, and use it to reach new heights. The successful demonstration of the kinetic enhancement footwear marked a turning point in human-Zephyrian relations. It showed that humanity could innovate on its own terms, creating technology that complemented rather than replaced their natural abilities. As the day drew to a close, with discussions and demonstrations continuing long into the night, one thing was clear: the age of enhanced human mobility had dawned. And with it, a new era of human-alien cooperation and mutual respect was beginning to take shape. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a revolutionary journey that would redefine the boundaries of human potential and shake the very foundations of galactic society. The turning point. The successful unveiling of the kinetic enhancement footwear, KEF, sent shockwaves through both human and Zephyrian societies. What had started as a response to an interstellar challenge had blossomed into a technological revolution that promised to reshape the very nature of human mobility and exploration. In the months following the demonstration, KEF technology rapidly evolved and diversified. Amit Patel and his team worked tirelessly to refine and expand upon their initial design. Soon, specialized versions of the KEFs began to emerge, each tailored for specific environments and activities. There were KEFs designed for urban environments, allowing wearers to effortlessly navigate crowded city streets and even scale buildings. Mountaineering KEFs provided unprecedented traction and support for scaling the world's most treacherous peaks. Aquatic versions allowed humans to swim at incredible speeds and depths. The possibilities seemed endless. As KEF technology proliferated, it began to have profound effects on human society. Cities started to redesign their infrastructure to accommodate this new form of enhanced mobility. New sports emerged, pushing the limits of what was possible with the augmented human body. Search and rescue operations became more efficient, with KEF-equipped teams able to navigate difficult terrain with ease. The Zephyrians watched these developments with a mixture of admiration and unease. While they were impressed by human ingenuity, some among them began to worry that they were losing their technological edge. The balance of power in their budding interstellar relationship was shifting. It was against this backdrop of rapid change that a crisis emerged, one that would put both human determination and Zephyrian technology to the ultimate test. Word reached Earth of a terrible disaster on Proxima Centauri, humanity's first extrasolar colony. A massive solar flare from Proxima Centauri had devastated the fledgling settlement, destroying much of its infrastructure and leaving the colonists in dire need of assistance. The journey to Proxima Centauri would take years with conventional human spacecraft. The Zephyrians, with their advanced propulsion technology, could make the trip in a matter of months. It seemed like the perfect opportunity for them to demonstrate their superior capabilities. However, as the Zephyrians prepared their rescue mission, they encountered an unexpected problem. Their sensitive anti-gravity systems, so effective in the vacuum of space and on their home world, were malfunctioning in the intense radiation environment around Proxima Centauri. The rescue mission ground to a halt before it could even begin. As news of the Zephyrian setback spread, Elena Rodriguez saw an opportunity. She approached Amit with an audacious idea. What if, she proposed, we could adapt the KEF technology for space exploration? Amit's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. You mean, create a sort of spacesuit with KEF capabilities? Elena nodded excitedly. Exactly. Something that could protect against radiation, provide life support, and still offer the enhanced mobility of the KEFs. If we could develop something like that, we could mount a rescue mission to Proxima Centauri. Emmett finished, his mind already racing with possibilities. The next few weeks were a blur of feverish activity. Emmett and Elena assembled a dream team of scientists, engineers, and astronauts. They worked around the clock, pushing the boundaries of KEF technology and integrating it with the most advanced spacesuit designs. The result was the Cosmic Enhancement and Protection Suit, CPS, a marvel of human engineering that combined the mobility-enhancing features of the KEFs with robust radiation shielding and a revolutionary life support system. As the CEPs neared completion, a call went out for volunteers for the rescue mission. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of KEF-trained individuals from around the world stepped forward, ready to risk everything to save their fellow humans on Proxima Centauri. The day of the launch arrived, and the world held its breath. A team of 12 human astronauts, each clad in a CPS, boarded a specially designed spacecraft. The Zephyrians, their own rescue efforts stalled, watched in fascination as the human ship took off, streaking across the sky and into the depths of space. The journey to Proxima Centauri was fraught with challenges. The human crew had to navigate through intense radiation fields, making constant adjustments to their CPS. They faced equipment malfunctions, near-fatal collisions with space debris, and the psychological strain of long-term space travel. But through it all, the enhanced capabilities provided by their suits allowed them to overcome obstacles that would have been insurmountable with conventional technology. They made repairs in the vacuum of space with unprecedented agility, maneuvered through treacherous asteroid fields with balletic grace, and withstood radiation levels that would have been lethal to unprotected humans. After months of grueling travel, the rescue team finally reached Proxima Centauri. The sight that greeted them was heart-wrenching. The once thriving colony was in ruins, its survivors huddled in makeshift shelters, clinging to life in the hostile alien environment. The CPS-equipped team sprang into action. They bounded across the rugged alien landscape with ease, their enhanced strength allowing them to clear debris and construct new shelters in record time. The suit's advanced life support systems allowed them to share resources with the weakened colonists, providing a lifeline in the harsh conditions. Over the next few weeks, the rescue team worked tirelessly to stabilize the colony and prepare the survivors for evacuation. Their enhanced capabilities proved invaluable, allowing them to accomplish in days what might have taken months with conventional equipment. As the rescue operation neared completion, a Zephyrian ship finally arrived, having overcome their technical difficulties. The aliens were astonished by what they found. Not only had the humans succeeded in their mission, but they had done so with a level of efficiency and adaptability that the Zephyrians had thought impossible for a primitive species. The journey back to Earth was a triumphant one. The human rescue team, along with the saved colonists, were hailed as heroes. Their successful mission had not only saved lives, but had also catapulted humanity onto the galactic stage in a way no one had anticipated. The Zephyrians, for their part, were forced to radically reassess their view of humanity. The ingenuity displayed in the development of the CPs and the sheer determination shown in the rescue mission had proven that humans were far more than the quaint, planet-bound species they had initially assumed them to be. As the rescue ship entered Earth's orbit, welcomed by cheering crowds and a jubilant global celebration, it was clear to all that a new chapter in human history had begun. Humanity had not just risen to the challenge posed by their first contact with an advanced alien civilization. They had exceeded all expectations, carving out their own unique path to the stars. The success of the Proxima Centauri rescue mission marked a turning point in human-Zephyrian relations and humanity's place in the galactic community. It was a powerful demonstration that sometimes the most extraordinary advancements come not from abandoning one's nature, but from embracing and enhancing it. As Elena and Emmett watched the returning heroes disembark, their CPS suits gleaming in the sunlight, they shared a look of pride and wonder. They had started this journey with a simple idea: to enhance rather than replace human capabilities. Now that idea had literally reached the stars. The age of enhanced human exploration had truly begun, and with it, a new era of collaboration and mutual respect between humans and Zephyrians. The universe, it seemed, was ready for humanity's unique brand of ingenuity and determination. A new era of cooperation. A successful rescue mission to Proxima Centauri marked a watershed moment in human history. It wasn't just a triumph of human ingenuity and determination. It was a clear signal to the galactic community that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. In the months following the mission, Earth became a hub of interstellar activity. The Zephyrians, humbled by the humans' achievements, began to approach their relationship with a newfound respect and curiosity. Other alien species, intrigued by reports of this upstart race that had so quickly adapted to cosmic challenges, sent delegations to Earth. At the heart of this whirlwind of diplomatic activity were Elena Rodriguez and Amit Patel. Their work on the Kinetic Enhancement Footwear, KEF, and the Cosmic Enhancement and Protection Suit, CPS, had catapulted them to global fame and galactic recognition. "I never imagined our work would lead to this," Amit mused one day, as he and Elena watched a group of Zephyrian scientists examining a CP's prototype. "We set out to prove a point about human potential, and now look at us. We're at the center of a galactic revolution in mobility technology." Elena nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "And we're just getting started, Amit. The possibilities are endless." Indeed, the success of the KEF and CEPs had opened up new avenues of research and development. Human and Zephyrian scientists began collaborating on projects that merged the best of both species' technologies. The result was a new wave of innovations that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. One of the most promising areas of collaboration was in the field of adaptive biotechnology. Zephyrian scientists, fascinated by the way that KEFs worked in harmony with human physiology, began exploring ways to create more symbiotic relationships between organic bodies and technological enhancements. This led to the development of the Bioadaptive Resonance Enhancer, BARE, system, a revolutionary technology that could be integrated directly into a being's nervous system, enhancing their natural abilities without the need for external equipment. The BARE system was a game changer. For humans, it meant the ability to activate KEF-like enhancements at will, without the need for specialized footwear. For Zephyrians, it offered a way to overcome the limitations of their anti-gravity systems, allowing them to adapt to a wider range of environments. As these technologies proliferated, they began to reshape societies across the galaxy. On Earth, cities transformed to accommodate the new modes of human movement. Vertical farms sprouted up the sides of skyscrapers, tended to by BARE-enhanced humans who could scale the buildings with ease. Transportation systems were overhauled, with traditional vehicles giving way to networks of launch pads and landing zones for self-propelled individuals. The Zephyrians, inspired by human adaptability, began to redesign their own cities. They incorporated more varied terrain, challenging themselves to rely less on constant anti-gravity and more on physical navigation. Some even chose to adopt modified versions of the KEFs, finding joy in the novel sensation of walking and running. But perhaps the most profound changes were happening on the frontier of space exploration. The combination of human ingenuity and Zephyrian technology led to breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel. Suddenly, the vast distances between stars seemed less insurmountable. A new age of galactic exploration dawned. Joint human-Zephyrian expeditions set out to explore the furthest reaches of the Milky Way. These teams, equipped with CPS and BARE technology, were able to adapt to a wide range of alien environments, making first contact with dozens of new species. One of these expeditions, led by Elena and a Zephyrian scientist named Zilo, made a discovery that would once again reshape the galactic landscape. On a distant planet, they found evidence of an ancient, long-vanished civilization, one that had seemingly mastered the ability to manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe. As they delved deeper into the ruins of this ancient culture, Elena and Xylo realized they were on the brink of uncovering secrets that could revolutionize their understanding of physics, biology, and the very nature of existence. "It's incredible," Elena breathed, as she and Xylo examined a strange, pulsing artifact in the heart of an alien temple. This civilization, they weren't just adapting to their environment or enhancing their bodies. They were reshaping reality itself. Xylo's tendrils quivered with excitement. This discovery, it could change everything, Elena. But it's also dangerous. This kind of power in the wrong hands. Elena nodded solemnly. "You're right, which is why it's so important that we found this together. Humans, Cypherians, working side by side. We can keep each other in check, balance each other's perspectives." As news of their discovery spread across the galaxy, it became clear that humanity and the Cypherians had stumbled upon something that would require the cooperation of all known species to fully understand and responsibly utilize. A grand conference was called, with representatives from every known intelligent species gathering on a neutral space station to discuss the implications of the discovery. As Elena and Amit sat in the conference hall, surrounded by a dizzying array of alien life forms, they couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. To think, Amit mused, all of this started because some floating aliens thought our feet were primitive. Elena chuckled. "And now look at us. We're at the forefront of a galactic revolution, on the brink of unlocking the secrets of the universe itself." Xylo's tendrils quivered with excitement. "This discovery, it could change everything, Elena. But it's also dangerous. This kind of power in the wrong hands." Elena nodded solemnly. "You're right, which is why it's so important that we found this together. Humans, Cypherians, working side by side. We can keep each other in check, balance each other's perspectives." As news of their discovery spread across the galaxy, it became clear that humanity and the Cypherians had stumbled upon something that would require the cooperation of all known species to fully understand and responsibly utilize. A grand conference was called, with representatives from every known intelligent species gathering on a neutral space station to discuss the implications of the discovery. As Elena and Amit sat in the conference hall, surrounded by a dizzying array of alien life forms, they couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. To think, Amit mused, all of this started because some floating aliens thought our feet were primitive. Elena chuckled. "And now look at us. We're at the forefront of a galactic revolution, on the brink of unlocking the secrets of the universe itself." As the conference began, with passionate debates and exciting proposals flying back and forth, one thing became clear. The future would be shaped not by any one species, but by the combined efforts of all. The age of isolation was over. Humanity, the Cypherians, and all the other species of the galaxy were now bound together in a grand adventure of discovery and growth. The universe, with all its wonders and challenges, awaited them. And it all began with a simple pair of shoes, a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the importance of staying true to one's nature, and the incredible things that can be achieved when different cultures come together in a spirit of mutual respect and cooperation. As the conference stretched into the night, filled with excited discussions of new possibilities and potential adventures, Elena and Emmett shared a knowing smile. They had started this journey by enhancing human feet. Now, they were taking steps that would reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned, and humanity, hand in hand with their new alien friends, was ready to take the next great leap.